Deck the halls with boughs of holly.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
'Tis the season to be jolly.
Santa Claus is coming! Santa Claus is coming to town!
Santa Claus is coming to town. Be there.
World champ, classic on display. Like to wish you and yours a happy holiday. I'm trying to stop smoking, that's so hard.
Think of all the fun I missed. Think of all the fellas that I haven't kissed. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf.
And I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself.
He spoke not a word,
But went straight to his work.
Filled all the stockings.
then turned with a jerk.
We wish you a merry six-pack. We wish you a merry six-pack.
And a happy new year!
Chestnuts roasting.
Jingle bells, do-do-ga-da-roo.
Sit down. I can't. There's a tree in my chair.
They're helping Macaulay Culkin set up some sort of booby trap. Bucket to the face! Christmas has been saved!
I want an official Red Ryder Carbon Action 200 shot range model air rifle.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
I celebrate Hanukkah. Why am I doing this?
Shalom. We got lots of Hanukkah left.
I'm a Muslim. I don't have any Christmas.
Happy holidays, everybody!
Have a happy holiday and a full-blooded new year.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays, you uggos.
I'm Jim Cornette. Have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas.
Merry Rockmas to all, and to all, a good night.
Merry Christmas!
And a very Merry Christmas.
A very Merry Christmas from me and my head.
I hope you all get a bunch of great gifts, and make sure to sit on Santa's lap and tell him all the things you want for Christmas. I'll see you in Japan.
I want to wish everybody out there a very, very Merry Christmas, except for one person. Owen, I hope you have a rotten Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah and Merry Christmas and God bless you.
Happy birthday, WWE Network.
A wrestling club with Darren and Brett. We've got a show that you'll never forget.
Well, holiday greetings to you, Wrestling Club members. It's the Wrestling Club with Darren and Brett. We're here live on YouTube, live somewhere. Man, thanks for subscribing, downloading the podcast if you're listening in the future. Tonight is our Halloween party. If you want to celebrate the holidays with us, just you can give us a call at 732-200-CLUB. The hotline tonight is a Christmas hotline. You can share your Christmas wishes, your memories of Christmas past, or whatever you want to say. Just give us a call, 732-200-CLUB. My name's Darren. I'm broadcasting from the festive McGinley Square district in Jersey City, New Jersey, and I'm joined via satellite by the Christmas preacher to my Satan the Santa Claus, Mr. Brett Davis. Brett, happy holidays.
Oh, happy holidays, Darren. Well, I'm so happy to be having a party here alone in my room. It's a thrill to be here, and we're not alone. We've got two very special guests that really make it a party. One of whom was just seen in that video in puppet form. But first, he is, like myself, an Andy Kaufman award-winning comedian and juggler. He's performed... Yeah, grab it. Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
He has performed at Bonnaroo and Edinburgh and on the Chris Gethard Show, TRL, Pawn Stars, somehow, and The Late Show with David Letterman. Here he is, Marcus Monroe.
Hey, happy holidays. Merry Christmas, everybody. Brett and
Happy
Darren.
holidays.
Oh, hello.
And I didn't want to say his. I didn't want to. You do the reveal.
Oh yeah. I've been waiting to do this.
Yeah.
Gather around, everyone, and witness the debonair devastation of such exquisite I fucked it up. Gather around, everyone, and witness the debonair devastation of such exquisite sophistication. He's the host of Wrestling with Whiskey, streams on Twitch as Drama King Matt, and he's been the voice of 205 Live and Rusev Day. He is the artiste, formerly known as Aiden English, Matt Marquis, and in some circles, Dumb Oaf. Here he is, Matt Rehwoldt.
What is? Oh, I couldn't have done it any better myself.
Matt.
All right, we did it. Chant,
Good.
good.
Welcome to the
Good
show.
job. Good job, Darren.
Oh God, thank you guys for having me.
Well,
This is
Wrestling
awesome.
Club. Oh boy, two
Also-
great new members of the club.
Yeah, I also want to shout out Steve DeCiano, who made our theme song, Lanny Poffo, the genius who does vocals on our theme song, and the man upstairs, the man literally a floor above Darren, Isaiah, who's our producer. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everybody. This is our Christmas party, our holiday party.
That video was amazing, Brent.
Oh my
Good job
God.
on that video. It was so good.
Yeah,
Like-
if you're
Yeah, I
if you're
stayed
listening
up.
on the podcast, go to YouTube, look up the
Yes.
time for this show, and watch the intro video. Brett spent. I mean, this is really Brett's magnum opus. This is his Christmas gift to all.
And
It's a
I
beautiful-
gotta say, like as a wrestler, you have this constant like love-hate relationship with your own profession, because like sometimes you just get so sick of it. You're like, I never want to watch wrestling. It's so much in my life, so it's up and down. But then you see stuff like that, and you're like, that's why I fucking love this stuff, man. You know, it's all the crazy, goofy, wild shit we get to. Hopefully, I can curse on this.
Oh,
Okay, but yeah, that's the kind of you just watch it. You're like, my God, this stuff is so much fun.
Absolutely. I mean, it was fun, and I was up until 5 a.m. editing this, and I like didn't get all my shit in that I wanted to, but like we didn't get Roddy Piper doing the being visited by the three spirits. There's just so much that
You didn't get Xavier Woods throwing up pancake into my face wearing a reindeer costume.
Nope.
I
Which
didn't
was a
get that.
career highlight for me.
Oh my
Well,
God, how can we?
I think I've got blockers on my internet access for those types of videos.
True, fair enough.
But yeah, in case people are not aware by my intro, Matt was a big part of WWE. You've spent many a Christmas under the WWE umbrella and professional wrestling umbrella, and Darren and I and Marcus we're big wrestling fans. So let me get a little background info before we jump into this Christmas talk. Marcus, how did you fall in love with wrestling?
Started when I was just really young. I love the theatrics. I remember watching or just going to Blockbuster, and I would always just go to the wrestling section. I would find like Ultimate Warrior on the cover, or Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant. There's one with like Brutus, the Barber Beefcake, like bending wires, or like a steel cage. I was just always like, something about it just always interests me, and I always wanted to be a professional wrestler. I mean, I gave up on that dream only like 3 years ago. Like I tried to like start working out, and I was making friends with some professional wrestlers. This could actually happen, but I would love to do like something in an indie show eventually at one time or another. But yeah, I just fell in love with it at an early age. It was something like all my brothers were into, and my dad. So it was kind of like a bonding thing at the time. Attitude Era was just like everyone was talking about wrestling at school every Tuesday. After watching Monday Night Raw, so it was just a thing to do. It was just like watching a basket, like the World Series or something. It was just the NBA championship. It was just something that you just made part of your life.
And how about you, Matt?
I mean, it's not too different, honestly. It was that end of the story there. Yeah, it was the same thing for me in school. So for me at the time, like, I mean, every Tuesday you'd hear kids talking about Shawn Michaels, talking about Stone Cold Steve Austin, all this stuff. And I didn't have cable television, so I didn't have like the USA Network in like 98, 99 and all that stuff. So I was like, what the
Were you
hell
watching like like the weird like C shows, because that's where I got all my
So
Attitude Era
that's
stuff.
yeah. So eventually, fine. I was like, I gotta find. I can't watch it. I know everyone's talking about it. It's like it's on their cable TV or whatever. We just had broadcast. So here in Chicago, there's like a local network called UPN, or I don't know what channel it was, but Shotgun Saturday Night was where I got my first toe dipped in. Which, if there's anyone who doesn't know, shame on you, first of all. But it was basically like some show on Saturday nights that would recap Raw in like 30 minutes and then have like a Taka Michinoku match or SA
Totally.
Rios. You know what I mean? Like it'd have like these little one-off, cold matches with guys lower on the card. But that was kind of how I at least got into, okay, now I know what's going on. And then once SmackDown came to broadcast on UPN, I just fell down the rabbit hole. And, me and a buddy in high school would watch it. Eventually got cable and all that stuff, and just never. I tell people all my friends kind of grew out of that stage into high school. I never did, and I just never grew out of it, and felt like it was something I could do. And so I did I did acting in like high school and college to kind of honestly to prep myself for hopefully performing for wrestling one day, and I just went after it, and lo and behold, it worked out a little bit.
Yeah. Last week we talked about, because I also didn't have cable, so I watched Shotgun Saturday. I also watched a lot of Super Astros, which is like El Hijo del Santo having like dark matches before Raw. But yeah, we were talking about Don Callis, and I was like, the Jackal was my favorite. Because he was just like sidelined to those like those B shows or C shows, like so you got into WWE. People can find this information. You've done other interviews.
Sure.
People can learn about your route.
Give me the good questions.
Yeah, we want to know the skinny on. So NXT sort of like wrestling college for people. It's everybody kind of relocates. They move to this one location. So you probably had like an orphan Christmas. What were like NXT holiday parties or weird traditions or anything?
So I mean, when I first got there, so like honestly, to be fair, the one nice thing about NXT, unlike like the main roster, is we actually did, I believe, we did for the most part for the whole time we had like holiday break. We had like a week and a half off or 2 weeks, like where everyone could go home. They were pretty good about that. But we would always do Christmas shows, but because we taped everything, we weren't sure where everything was going to line up. So we didn't have like TV, but our house shows, especially like before NXT blew up, we got to do goofy ass stuff on the house shows. Like whatever the last house show of the year was before we all went home, it would be a Christmas show, whether it was in Tampa, it was somewhere in Florida usually, because this was like kind of just FCW turning into NXT days. The best one that I remember was probably one of the last shows in the old Tampa FCW arena. Nick Dinsmore, who people might know better as Eugene, become a coach for developmental at the time. So they coming up with stuff for us to do for the holiday shows, bunch of comedy stuff. Everyone's dressing up as reindeers and all this stuff like that. And this was probably my second or third year there. So that we do this promo segment where Eugene comes out giving gifts to everybody in the audience and everything, and then I come out singing and interrupting him wearing like a black Santa hat that said like "Bah Humbug," of course, right? And we end up singing, I forget exactly the details, but we end up singing a duet where he keeps trying to steal the mic from me. And then he pantses me and I'm wearing like rainbow underpants. And I like fall out of the ring with my pants around my ankles and run screaming to the back. And that was just one of the most fun things I got to do. And look, with that character, with that Aiden English, like, singing ridiculous character, I did get to do a lot of stuff like that sometimes didn't even make TV, with some of like big like legends and stuff that they would bring in sometimes, because it was just easy to play with anybody. So Yeah, getting pantsed on a Christmas show was probably by Eugene was one of my better wrestling moments.
Yeah, we have a link. I mean, I can say I knew you when, and so can anybody that listened to the Best Show. I famously used to call into the Best Show as a high schooler and stayed a part of the sort of community for a while. But you would call in when you were just an indie guy in Chicago as Matt Marquis. So it was very cool to see your path, where, several years later, you're, at WrestleMania.
So the funny thing is,
shaving your head mid-show.
I think I technically only called in once, and it was actually when I was living in Florida in a stranger's home that I found off Craigslist at the FCW. Like, they offered a beginner's class. Steve Kern, who used to run FCW, would run like this training class like any other school would. But my theory was like, oh, I'm going to go learn from the guys who teach the WWE guys. So I'm going to go down there. So I packed a duffel bag, rented a room off Craigslist, literally like a room in a stranger's home, which was the dumbest thing I could have done. The only reason I did it though is because, like, in Florida, pool houses like aren't like a fancy thing. Like, it's like a shed you have by your pool. But this guy had like a little pool house with like one tiny ass bedroom, and he was like, yeah, there's another wrestler living there. So I'm like, all right, I'll have backup if anything gets weird. So there were two of us there, and he ended up becoming a pretty good friend actually. But yeah, so I was in Florida, like living in a dude's house. I remember making that call from like the bedroom in this stranger's home. Yeah, and I was learning from Norman Smiley at the time, a couple days a week, and sweeping gym floors the other couple days a week. So it was a hell of a time.
That's so cool. So, WWE has done shows through the Christmas break. When you got onto the main roster, are there unknown WWE Christmas traditions? Just like, I don't know, Vince come out as Santa. We saw him in the we haven't seen him yet. Oh. Sorry, that's coming.
No. So
yeah, we will.
I wish I had something for you here. No, Vince doesn't do anything because nobody sees Vince because he hides in his office. Like, I could probably count on one hand the number of times I saw Vince in the flesh, aside from when he's at Gorilla and blah, blah, and he's in the middle of all his stuff or whatever. But I mean, just like out during the day or like doing the man. So occasionally the crew would do things. There were days when they'd rib people, and sometimes they do it for people's birthdays. Christmas, they do something. I remember like this one guy, we were in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and earlier in the evening, they were out getting one of those just outside kind of locator shots of like the front of the arena, and it was pretty bad snow day, pretty bad blizzard. And so this guy, this cameraman is going out like kind of to try to set up something in the shot, and he's in the middle of the camera and he slips and just eats it, just falls on his ass. And so like right before we go live, like just while everyone's still kind of hanging out around the arena, they're going over their stuff, they just play it on the Titantron with like orchestrated music and everything playing over it, and just on, like Benny Hill style, like on repeat, like fast forward, slow, fast, slow, fast, slow. And everyone's just cracking up. And then I remember that show in particular because me and Rusev did a dark match after the show. And to the point where I don't know if someone told Rusev to do it, but Rusev literally stopped the match. Rusev gets the mic and is like, show that footage one more. So he shows it to the entire audience, and they play the same thing. The camera guy who's still out there filming us. And we declared it Brogan Day because that was the guy's name, was Jim Brogan. And so just like played that for him, and played, everybody in the audience laughed and stuff like that. So, and no holiday traditions, but like the crew would, for special occasions would play little jokes like that.
Yeah. Apologies to Darren and Marcus who haven't said much. I know you do have an out, so if you need to part ways or anything, feel free to just Irish exit the conversation. Christmas and wrestling. Does anybody have any like specific Christmas related memories? Because I have one of like we'll see him later, Tajiri Claus. I just remember like sitting in like my aunt's basement watching Raw while like the rest of my family was like celebrating upstairs and like desperately like hand on the remote in case something like risque comes on and like an uncle walks by or something, because that was like 2001. So
right.
Oh yeah,
totally.
Sorry, Darren.
Go ahead,
Marcus.
Darren.
Marcus, you go.
Well, it's kind of Christmas related wrestling story. So when my wife and I got married, we got married in like 2013, in August, and I wanted to have like celebrities at my wedding just because I thought it'd be really funny. Sure. And like I would like invite people on Twitter and like as a joke and see if they would come. So I booked this guy who like lives in Milwaukee where we got married, and he's like a professional Santa. His name's Santa Jerry. And I invited him to be Santa at my wedding in August. Paid him $100, and he came in full garb. People were like, "Why is Santa at the wedding?" And I was like, "Because it's Santa." He's like, because I was telling my friends I booked the biggest celebrity in the world to come to my wedding, and it was Santa. But it worked out great. Everyone was already dressed up, got their Christmas cards done in August. It was great. But Mick Foley was also going to be in Milwaukee. I got married August 10th, August 11th. And when I was growing up in this town called Shorewood, there's a guy named Chris Hero who was a huge wrestling fan, and he had a wrestling shop called Hero Sports Page. And
there's a wrestling fan called Chris Hero?
Well, at the time he wasn't working for WWE. So at the time he was running at the time he has his own promotion, and I'm talking 25 years ago.
We're talking about the same Chris Hero, right? Cassius Ono, Chris
hair,
Hero,
magical
rolling elbow.
No.
This is just different. A dude named Chris Hero.
Yeah, he owns the company called like Great Lakes Championship Wrestling. Okay. So he was in like, he had a not the Chris Hero, a guy named Chris. He did work for WWE for a little while, but like so he's like a legit guy. But I'm telling you,
that's wild. I've never heard of this guy.
So look at like Great Lakes Wrestling, professional wrestling. When we hang up, and you can find him. He's a cool guy. He had like a bunch of shows. He's real tight with like Abyss, Al Snow, that group, right? So anyway, I saw that Mick Foley was going to be in town the day after doing one of Chris Hero's shows, right? And so I sent Mick Foley a DM on Twitter. I said, "Hey man," or maybe it was actually it wasn't a DM. It was just a public post because he wasn't following me back. So I was like, "Hey man, I'm getting married tomorrow. I would love for you to be at my wedding. Santa is going to be there, and I know how big of a Santa fan Mick Foley is." And he responded, "This sounds fun. I'll try to make it." And I'm like freaking out. So I rearranged our table. I made like our reception table. I put like Mick Foley sitting next to me and my wife. I gave him a card. He was having beef, and I was like, I waited all night. I was so excited. He did not show up to my wedding. But then 3 months later, I'm at LaGuardia. It's 5 a.m. I look up, I see Mick Foley, and he just looks like he's exhausted. I'm exhausted. But I'm like, I have to talk to him. So I'm like, "Hey, Mick." He's like, "Hey, how are you?" I'm like, "Hey, I actually invited you to my wedding like three months ago. I had Santa there. I had a hot meal for you. It was free. You didn't come." He's like, "How was it?" I was like, "It was great, but it would have been better if you were there and pulled out a sock and gave me the mandible claw during dinner." But it was great. So that's my wrestling Santa Mick Foley story.
Wow.
I wish he came. He did not come, but what are you gonna do?
Oh wow.
I thought I played it pretty cool though. I was gonna give him a free meal. Anyone who knows Mick Foley, everyone listening to this podcast knows Mick Foley loves free stuff, right? He's very, notoriously known for like loving free and Santa. So I was like, he's gonna come. I was determined he's gonna come to this wedding.
You had a great plan, Marcus. That's a really great plan.
Yeah, I was like, put him at the head table. We had an empty seat at our head table.
Unbelievable.
You know what? I think he regretted it.
I'm sure he did. And I apologize for the Chris Hero mix-up. There was two people with the same name, both interesting.
Yeah. First off, this reminds me of this is a question I have. Okay, Darren and I have wondered about this for a while now. This is related to Chris Hero. We would do these characters called Bobby Blaze and Harley Tucker, and
yes, I remember when you were doing that, dude. I remember seeing that on Twitter. I remember seeing that shit. Yes.
Somehow this made the rounds in the whatever the FCW or the early version of the Performance Center.
I think I think that's how I heard, because I swear to God, because I so at that point, like I said, I was listening to Best Show and stuff like that, and Hero, I think you're right. Hero's the one. It's so funny. Oh God, now it's all like clicking together. Had mentioned, or whether it was I saw his retweet or something, but I feel like it was from him that I found it and heard about like somebody making these like sketches and these stuff with this Bobby Blaze stuff, and I was like, oh my God, and they're doing like putting some work. You were putting some work into it. Like it wasn't just some like little you were really going for it. I freaking loved it. I was like, holy! And at first, I remember you had me fooled because I was like, is this guy like an indie guy? Is this for real? Like, is this like an indie guy who's trying to like make these funny videos to make a name for himself, or is this like a sketch? I didn't know what. So I just remember I was really entertained, and I feel like I do remember hearing about it from Hero.
Unbelievable. This makes me so happy. I didn't know about first. It was I noticed like Chris Hero liked it on Facebook, which was bizarre. And who's that guy? Darren, that we were talking about. The wrestling expert that we're talking. I don't know. So somebody else liked it, and I was like, "This is."
Was it Rob Naylor?
Oh, Naylor! Yes, Naylor. Hell yeah.
And then I was doing a show in Denver it was a comedy festival, but they had a wrestling show that was tangential to it, and I was like, "Oh, I do this wrestling character. Let's do a thing." And I got speared and nearly broke my neck, and that was fun. But yeah, I was backstage, and somebody's like, "Bobby Blaze," like recognizing me in my gimmick. And I was like, this. I was just like, this justifies, years of work that wrestlers like it.
Let's go to the hotline.
Yeah.
Oh. Well.
And if you want to call in, it's 73. What's the number?
732-200 Club. Hello, you're on Wrestling Club.
Hi. Hello.
Hi. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. What do you got? First of all, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you, all of you. Thanks for doing the show. It's been really entertaining so far. I just wanted to clear. It's Dave Hero, the guy from Great Lakes.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that makes way. I know Dave Hero.
Dave Hero. Oh,
yeah.
Is this?
Yes, of course.
Show
Dave.
from like with me and Nelson. It was kind of an online wrestling news show from 10, 15 years ago.
I used to watch that. Yeah, I remember that. Pro Wrestling
I'm so sorry.
or something.
Yeah, Dave. That's it.
Wait, is this Dave Hero?
No. I'm not.
Oh,
Is this
would have been so good.
I know there was a guy on that show called Meathead.
I was watching the barbed wire Christmas tree match just before this.
Oh, we're gonna get to that. That's controversial, honestly. What do you think about it?
I mean, the one part I forgot there was a wrestler there was a few wrestlers that were in it that I forgot about, and it's kind of beautiful in a way. you know, there's art to that, and how every decision that they made.
Yeah.
Then also, the other Christmas thing was remember this was actually it was always at the end of Survivor Series, but they would bring out Santa for a couple of years.
Sure.
To celebrate at the end. I think it was Bret Hart in '92, and then when Lex Luger beat Ludwig Borga, they had this Santa come out. I remember that was yeah. That was my Christmas. But anyway, thank you very much, and keep doing the great show.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, cheers.
That was a great caller. I like that guy very much.
Yeah, that's
in
nice.
and out.
He could have been a condescending dick to me for getting the name wrong. He did it in a nice way. I like that.
He had a clarification and he had a comment. I like that.
It was great.
Excellent.
Good.
You know, I honestly, I would have liked a question as well, but you know, you can't. Beggars can't be choosers here. You can join the club for a holiday party. 732-200 club. What's your question, Marcus?
Long-time listener, first-time caller. Matt, I've always wondered this, Matt. For live events when WWE, if you're first on the card, like when you're done with your match, are you allowed to leave, or do you all have to leave together? Like when the show's over, do you have like is there like a post-event meeting, or do you just like whenever you're done, you can just peace out, drive to the next town? Really? So whoever. So if you're in the main event, you come back to like an empty locker room. I just find that so sad.
So like, yeah, sometimes, yeah. But like the funny thing is the guys in the main event, like they know the deal. You know what I mean? Like they know what they know that's kind of part of it, and they're probably getting paid more money than us anyway. So that's part of the deal. You got to stay later. You get a lot more money than we do. But it's funny though you say that. So like 9 times out of 10. Yeah, and like usually, it's like there were some guy. I will tell you that like, who was it? Rhino was notorious for it. Like he would leave in his gear. He wouldn't care. He'd throw a hoodie on over his deal, change his boots into his shoes. Later, guys, see ya.
No pants.
Yep. And, rain, snow, sunshine, whatever. Always Anderson and Gallows always gone. You know. Yeah, that's the guys who had been around a long time. There was always the newer guys would sometimes have like the little bit of I got to stick around kind of thing. House shows were less so than television for sure, but yeah, most of the guys. But I will say this: so I was on a lot of house shows with John Cena. If Cena was around, way more people would stick around because John. Of course, I will sing John's praises till the cows come home twice, because he was that guy. He's before the show starts, he's in his jorts and his shirt and he's ready to go for whatever his match is, and he sits down and he watches the monitor and he watches every single match, and 9 times out of 10 he's the main event, right? So he's there the whole show. And then but to be fair, like he would say sometimes, the guy goes, guys, you can go. I'm not gonna get mad or give you a talking to if you leave or whatever. But guys always kind of felt like it's here.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna sit down. Maybe he has something to say about my match and maybe this or that. But yeah, he 9 times out of 10, your match is done. You go because you got a 4-hour drive. Let's get to the next town. But
so TV though, you'd stick around for TV, or same thing for TV? TV
was, I would say, kind of similar, depending on but just because there were so many, again, it's the politic game. There's so many more people. There's writers, there's producers walking around all the time. So you want to pull someone aside, talk to them, or like you never know what if you're gonna get heat. We're like, oh, like he was in the opening dark match and he left at 7:15 as the show was starting. You never know what kind of who's gonna give you heat for what. There always was that little bit of something. But also you must also think that like sometimes the show gets written, while it's happening, and if they need you for something, but you're 30 miles down the road, you're fucked. Which happened to Breeze one time. Oh no! I think he got what he didn't work. He didn't work. Something like he found out the show was starting, or like it was like literally, and they were like, he was told, I think by like TR, like, you're not on the show. And I think this is when we would do Monday Raw, Tuesday SmackDown, and so you'd want to get to SmackDown town. And so I was Raw, like, hey, yeah, all right, you're not on the show, you're not on the dark match or whatever. So if you have to go, if you're gonna go, or something like that. Or no, they didn't tell him to go, but they were like, yeah, you're not on the show tonight. And so he's like, all right, I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna drive to the next town. Something got rewritten, or something got hurt, or something, and they needed him in some like squash match or something. And he's an hour down the road. And so he was like, I wasn't on the show. So that he got kind of chewed out for that. But then going back to Rhino, it's funny. The old school guys don't give a fuck. And so I remember a TV taping where Gallows and Anderson were like, all right, like we did, like, they were matching segment, and we're done. We're going to sneak out. And they go to like I remember, because I walked by them because I had something to do later. And they were like waiting in the parking lot, literally like around a corner, like shit. Because in the parking lot is where all the boys' cars were parked. There's Hunter, there's Triple H talking to like Finn Balor. And they're like, oh, I don't want to walk right by him and leave. It's like, it's early on in the night and everything. Shit. And then here comes Rhino in a hoodie, shorts, and flip-flops. And it's like, later, Gallows, later, Anderson, dragging his bag. Hey, Hunter, have a good night, man. Gets into his car, drives, of course, nobody gives a fuck. And nobody cares that he's doing it because it's Rhino and he's been doing this for 20 years and stuff like that. But it was just so funny how little, in gym shorts, a hoodie, and flip-flops in like November.
Legend.
It was such, dude, that guy was awesome. I loved him so much. He talked to my parents at a WrestleMania, like, we were at the pool at the WrestleMania hotel, and like, my parents came down, I'm just hanging with them, and he literally just came over and started talking to me. My dad's from Michigan. They just started talking about like suburban Detroit for like 45 minutes. And like,
oh yeah.
And
I've witnessed this firsthand.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody knows Joe Firestone, who's the most wholesome,
she's great,
sweet Midwestern person.
But
we were sitting together at the Chris Gethard show, and Rhino was on the show, and like I was just like, oh, I'm gonna go talk to Joe, and then Rhino's there. Okay, this is interesting. I wonder what they're talking about. They were like in the middle of an in-depth conversation about gardening. And he was just talking about like he's got this whole like setup, and like what kind of fertilizer he uses, and like what flowers he has. It was really amazing.
That's so funny.
I've always thought Rhino must be a great guy because he's literally shows up everywhere. Like, I feel like every wrestling show I watch, whether it's an indie or Impact or whatever, Rhino's just always there, and he looks exactly the same as he did 20 years ago, and it's great.
He's just this big, bullish tank of a man. He's always in a good mood. He's awesome.
He's pretty young.
I did
too.
notice that.
Finding out he's like
my
38.
legs were the size of his thigh. Sorry.
He's got tree trunks for thighs. That's so funny, Brett, because Joe told me that too, that they were talking about gardening for like a half an hour, and I did not believe her. So you telling me that too, I'm like, okay, that truly happened.
Do you know he owns a marina?
No,
like for boats.
Yeah, like that. Like that's his. I don't know, like retirement or like his side thing. Or like back. He always wanted to live on a boat. So like with his like part of his retirement, he bought a marina. So now he's the marina owner, and he lives on his boat in Michigan, in like Dearborn.
Of course. Oh my gosh.
So like he owns and runs a marina on the side. Yes.
A sailor.
Amazing.
Rhino's a sailor. Great.
Matt, Darren can attest to this. The vaudevillains.
Oh yeah.
And then the evolution from your like Artiste character into the vaudevillains is one of my favorite gimmicks ever. And we're trying to gather a fan base here. Your partner Simon Gotch once famously shot hard on Enzo Amore, and if you watch any wrestling video on YouTube,
it's that suggested next video that you watch. Yes,
always.
It's Simon Gotch shoots on Enzo Amore. So I'm giving you this opportunity to do us a solid and shoot hard on anyone. and give us the real scoop. It doesn't even need to be a good story. It just needs to be like a good snackable title for content wise. Yeah.
Like oh man, I'm trying to like. Well, I'm one of those guys. I'm like, I didn't have beef with anyone, so I don't have any like real like shit talk story.
Make it up.
Make it, yeah. Right? Hey, man, the camera's on. Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. That's what
Aiden
Dusty
English
Rhodes always
shoots
used to
hard.
say.
Aiden English shoots hard on Rhino.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is like I will tell like one of my few true interactions with Vince McMahon. You can clip this and label it as Aiden English shoots on Vince McMahon. I'm the CEO. So like, it's like again, the guy was busy as hell, and especially me, I was always kind of lower on the card trying to fight my way up. So he's dealing with writers and like business and all this stuff. So he's intimidating to go in to talk to. But I finally did one day, because for two reasons. One, I don't know if you remember when I started wearing the painting tights in like 2017 or something. I made sure they were all like old paint, like public domain, all that shit. But they're like, all right, we'll just make sure Vince approves it. So I was like, okay. So I was going to go do that, and I was going to pitch him this evolution of Aiden English because I was already doing singing and stuff. But I'm like, I want to take this to a little bit more of a crazy, cool, twisted, like real place, like dark, twisted artist thing, right? So I get him. He beckons me in, sits me down, and I start telling him like, hey, well, first of all, I'm like, here are these ties. I'm like, they're a famous painting, but I'm like, it should be all okay. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. And I'm like, I want to do this thing. I want to take Aiden English, right? He's this actor, artist, Broadway thing, but I'm like, I'd like to take this and evolve it to this kind of craze, melodramatic artist. He's obsessed with trying to create his masterpiece and manipulate the WWE system and universe to create his masterpiece. Wrestling, we call it a canvas. That's my canvas. But I'm obsessed. I'm driven mad, like Van Gogh who cut his ear off. Like I'm willing to do all these stupid, crazy things to myself or to my opponents in order to create this twisted version of whatever I think a masterpiece is, whether that's the title, winning the title and ripping it in half or something. I painted this like 10-minute portrait for him that while it was a little weird, I'm like, it's at least intriguing, at least as intriguing as like The Fiend or something is, right? This totally twisted personality. And he sits there and he takes it in. And this tells you all you need to know about Vince McMahon. Love him or hate him. And he said, you're an artist. So you really feel things. What if you cried?
He's gonna cry. He's gonna cry.
Yes. So like I give him this 10-minute spiel about with layers and arcs and things I could do. And he goes, what if like you got really emotional about something because you're an artist, you're an actor, and you cried in the ring. And of course, I'm like, this is one of my first things. So I'm like, like that could be something, and we go from there. All right, thanks for coming in and shooed me out. And the next week, sure enough, I lost the match and I cried in the ring, and Jericho put me on the list for crying, and then we never saw it again. And so that's me shooting on Vince McMahon. That was one of the more frustrating moments of everything, because I thought I had this great idea, and what the boss got out of it was cry.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to Vince McMahon right now.
I enjoy destroying lives.
All right, thanks, Vince.
But no,
Unfortunately, has that queued up always.
On that note, though, I do have to bounce though. On that note, though, thank you,
Matt.
No, thank you guys for having me on, and this is fun. And no, if you ever want to do anything like this again, hit me up. I'd love to.
Oh yeah, we'll do an Easter party.
Yes, St. Patty's Day, Valentine's Day. Wrestling always has stupid shit they do for any holiday. So,
absolutely,
yeah,
awesome.
Well, thanks for joining Wrestling
so
Club,
much,
Matt.
Thank you. Thanks, Matt.
Have a good one.
Happy holidays.
You.
All right.
Yeah. So this is wrestling does do a lot of stupid shit for the holidays,
especially Christmas.
Yeah, I think we should For a chance to reset, I think we should maybe get into our nominee. I know this is changing the format a little bit. I'm switching up the script. I'm tearing up the program.
What are we nominated? We haven't even discussed this. Yeah.
Well, I'm watching as the live feed like readjusts because somebody left. So let's talk about wrestling Santa Clauses. There are a lot of famous wrestling Santas, and for our Brawloween episode, we gave out awards for the best mummy, the best witch, the best vampire. A Santa is just as iconic as any of those. However, it's not Halloweeny, so I think we do deserve to give an award for the best wrestling Santa. And I in preparation for this, I watched a film called Santa with Muscles. Marcus, have you seen this?
No, but it sounds amazing.
It's bad.
It stars Terry Hulk Hogan, Balea, as
Hogan,
as Blake Thorne, who is a multimillionaire who puts his face on fitness equipment and merchandises himself, and is also fancies himself an action star. And he gets a knock on the noggin that totally confuses him. And he wakes up, he donned a Santa costume in disguise and awoken with amnesia. And
Whoa.
an unscrupulous man in an elf costume said, well, yeah, you are Santa Claus.
Santa with dementia, all right.
Yeah. We love head trauma jokes in the world of wrestling. For the 90 minutes, Terry Hulk Hogan Balea put on the greatest wrestling Santa performance I've ever seen. It's amazing.
That's a real.
That's the greatest wrestling Santa.
Wow.
Now, it's such a shadow of all the other performances of Santa that I think we deserve to just side him off when we discuss what this award is. So what I am presenting is the Blake Thorne Memorial, or not Memorial. I don't think Blake Thorne is dead in universe, but the Blake Thorne Santa with Muscles Achievement Award. Now, on our Brawloween show, we notably, Marcus, your favorite, Mick Foley, did not get nominated because mankind is not that scary. But he famously loves Christmas, so this is his redemption. This is his chance to change everything. But he's up against some stiff competition. So, Isaiah, could we play some of these clips of various wrestling Santas?
All right.
Oh no, I didn't send that. Oh, never mind.
Hey, hello there. This is the hardcore legend, Mick Foley. Man, I understand I have just received an award as the best wrestling Santa.
Good job.
On behalf of Hulk Hogan's Blake Thorne in Santa with Muscles movie, I want to say thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I work really hard to be the most authentic that I can be, and it's really nice of you guys to take note of that. Of course, my TV run as Santa was limited to being hit by Alberto Del Rio's car and scaring children around the world who thought Santa had perished. But he came back to life. He sprang back to life. It's one of my favorite episodes. I memorized every word of Booker T's speech. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Santa's down, and it don't look good. But before Santa lost consciousness, his last words to me were, Alberto Del Rio will be in a fight tonight. A Miracle on 34th Street fight. So there you go. That episode obviously meant a lot to me, and I really appreciate you guys giving me this award, which I accept wholeheartedly. May all your days be Nice.
What a guy.
All right, let's go to
Cheers.
Skype. Let's go to
Cheers
Skype.
to Mick Foley.
Hi, you're on WFMU Wrestling Club. Who are we speaking to?
Hey, Darren, this is Vin from Staten Island.
Oh, Vin from Staten Island. Happy holidays to you, bud.
Happy holidays
Host
to
of
you
the
guys.
Wrestle Rap podcast.
I'm watching right now as all of the cameras zoom in and out sporadically.
Good. I don't know why. We're learning here. What are we zooming in on? What have we zoomed in on anything good? Have we zoomed in on anything good?
But I just wanted to call in, wish you guys a happy holidays, and also see if you had any memories, any Christmas memories of any Christmas happenings at any independent show. I know, obviously we all like to talk about the big sort of Christmas gimmicks and moments going on in, big time wrestling, but I know you guys have also gone to a lot of local wrestling shows, especially here in the tri-state area. They always like to pull off a lot of really sort of chintzy knockoff gimmicks. And I want to see if you guys had any memories of any of those that you've seen.
Oh boy, well that's a good question, Vin. Thanks for giving us a call. I'll keep you on.
This is not juicy, but I do have a very specific memory of Darren and I in 2010 going to Final Battle. I think the main event was like Steve Corino versus Kevin Steen. Maybe there's another match.
That match.
It was such a great show.
Yeah.
And then I made the long trek back to New Jersey to wrap presents for my family because like Christmas Eve was the next day.
Yeah.
And it was a really fun night.
I remember I stopped at Walmart that night, the 24-hour Walmart in oh boy, I forget what town, somewhere in Morris County in New Jersey, and I bought my mom some candles. And that was what she got for Christmas. That's right. I'm trying to I don't really I haven't been.
How about you, Vin? Do you have any?
Yeah, Vin, what about you?
We do a couple shows where they kind of just do the token, like Santa Claus comes out.
Oh, no.
The weirdest one I've
Things
seen
are messed up. This is why you drink 3
I
beers
went
during
to, I think I'm pretty sure it was a Wrestle Pro show around October, and they did
Marcus
guy comes out, Leatherface guy comes out, it's Frankenstein. I was like, okay, it's kind of, it's par for the course. And then I went back around December, and they had Leatherface come out again. It's just only he was dressed like Santa mixed with Leatherface. So the guy kind of doing the same thing. You just put a Santa hat on.
That's great. I mean, that's really I feel like that's something you see a lot in wrestling, where it's just, we're gonna have Kane hold some chestnuts, and he's gonna sing "Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire." He's gonna say "fire" weird, like
right.
I feel like that's the thing with wrestling and Christmas. It's usually bad. I feel like most wrestling Christmas things are not that great.
Well, I think I've always had a theory about that if you put out a good gimmick around Halloween, that can last the whole year long. Like if something really hits,
right,
it's a scary idea, you can keep that going. If something hits on Christmas, you can't exactly keep that going all year. You can't do like the Christmas creature going all the way through to Passover.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think, that is a good point, because I think Halloween and wrestling have a better connection, just like wild characters, weird stuff. Where Christmas, it's like, okay, we're going to have wrestlers sing. We're going to have wrestlers make a wish. And, we're going to, what else is there? Then maybe they'll have a match. But really, and Vin, I'm going to let you go with this one, because I want to get into talking about my favorite Christmas show. But thank you for your call, and happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays to you guys as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brett says happy holidays as well, but he left. He quit the show, I guess. I don't know.
There he is.
Oh, there he is.
Darren, hit me with your favorite Christmas memory.
Well, I'm gonna let this audio clip play first, just to give us a little.
All right.
I'll let Mike Tenay explain it.
Happy holidays from TNA, while Eric Young awaits the arrival of Santa Claus. Tonight on Impact, get ready for Christmas chaos in the cage. 6 sides of steel, wrapped in thousands of lights, plus a double North Pole match and TNA knockouts in Santa's Workshop Street Fight.
It's Silent Night, Bloody Night, with the Monster Abyss, first Black Rain, first Relic versus Shark Boy, and a grab the reindeer ladder match. AJ Styles versus Kaz. The winner pulls down the reindeer suit. The loser has to wear it.
That's the best.
TNA,
Unbelievable.
2007.
I love that they're like, it's a barbed wire tree with thousands of lights.
Yeah.
As if like the lights are the appeal.
So every match on the show is a Christmas themed match. We have the knockouts having a toy match. There's a big toy box in the middle of the ring. One of them gets hit really hard with the toy box in the back of her head. I hope she's okay. Probably not. There's the cage match with the thousands of lights. It's literally just like there's just like some Christmas lights on the cage. There's not really that much. But then you've got the barbed wire Christmas. I forget what did he call it? Did he call it the Nightmare Before Christmas match or something like that? What did he call it? The one with the barbed wire Christmas tree.
It's got a name.
Yeah, you got to get
somebody in the chat maybe knows faster than I can Google.
Like what a TNA, what an encapsulation of what TNA was. It's so hard to explain it to people that didn't live through it. But Abyss versus Relic, which is killer spelled backwards, versus Black Rain, who is Dustin Rhodes in his psychologically ill character, Black Rain. I mean, basically the whole idea is that you have Dustin Rhodes, and then Black Rain is his he's personalities, and this is his murderous alter ego that has a little pet rat that he brings to the ring.
It's a Silent Night, Bloody Night match.
Silent Night, Bloody Night match. Thank you. And then rounding out this 4-way, Shark Boy, because I guess he's scary. I guess he's got a mask on. I don't know. It's great. And then through the whole show, you've got Eric Young waiting for Santa, and one by one, all of these characters come in. We've got, of course, the famous Eric Young's famous Uncle Leo. We know him as Bushwhacker Luke, who's then just at the party in every shot. Every time there's a shot of somebody talking, you just see Bushwhacker Luke just pump his arms and whack his way into the shot. And then he's just standing in the background, just kind of looking at the screen. It's great. I think TNA is bad. I can't say it's a great show. I mean, AJ Styles gets injured in a reindeer ladder match and then has to wear a reindeer suit. And it's like doing like crazy ladder spots and landing.
Which they do for Thanksgiving already with the turkey
so
suit.
3 weeks later.
Adam Susan in the chat points out that Relic is killer backwards. Just in case anybody misses out on that.
That's right. That's right.
That's good to know. I didn't know that. I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah.
Well, you got to see how it's.
Yeah, there's so much good in this Christmas special. Like AEW with normal circumstances could probably pull something better off, but so far this is the high watermark, and TNA doesn't have a lot of high watermarks in anything. Well, this is the high watermark of Christmas special wrestling shows.
I think it's a bad wrestling show. It's a very bad wrestling show. It's a terrible wrestling show, but I think it's the most historically significant wrestling Christmas show of the modern era. I mean, you can go back to the 80s when the AWA and World Class and Mid-South had these big super cards on Christmas that everybody went to, but those weren't really Christmassy. It was just like, I guess people in the South didn't have TV or something, so they just had to go to the arena at night and watch whatever, Iceman Parsons and whoever, I don't know. But so I don't think so once you're in the modern era, like Christmas and wrestling is just like a fun little theme on a TV show, and the TNA 2007 Christmas just goes all out with it, for better or worse, pretty much just worse.
Yeah. You're right, though. They usually do make bad wrestling shows. If you're a wrestling fan, they're usually pretty bad. But I kind of like the gimmicky matches, like when Damian Sandow would do all those street fights, depending on where they were. And you know, he'd come to the ring dressed as an astronaut or whatever it was. You know, as a like, I wouldn't want to see a whole hour of that or a whole 3 hours of that. But one or two of those gimmicky type matches, I think it's kind of fun.
No, I think it is fun too, but TNA just takes it way too.
They went to they could have
the double North Pole, the double North Pole match, which is 2 poles, and on each pole is like a card for a gimmick match next week between the 2 teams, and like one's like a glass match, and the other's like an Ultimate X match or whatever. But it's like, we're gonna have this pole match to determine the gimmick for the next gimmick. It's bad. I mean, it's Vince Russo, you know, who's, you know, he's not a part of the wrestling club. I'm sure he probably wants to be, but he's not. But yeah, I don't know. For Christmas though, it's one of my favorites.
You know who else does Christmas well? And Darren is the expert on this. Pro Wrestling Noah.
Oh,
you know,
my goodness.
Christmas and wrestling in Japan are pretty much separate things. Christmas isn't even that momentous as it is in America, but they really pull out all the stops. And Darren, you're the expert on Japan, so I'm going to defer to you on this.
Well, so the way Christmas works in Japanese wrestling is it's traditionally the last show of the year and the last show before the big first week of January shows. You know, there's Wrestle Kingdom, the New Japan show, which is January 4th. And all the other promotions in Japan usually have big shows that week as well. So, but they have the Christmas show, which is like a fan appreciation night. So you'll have, you know, Hiroshi Tanahashi, when New Japan does it, will be dressed as Tana Santa. And you can go to our Instagram, WFMU Club, or sorry, Wrestling Club WFMU on Instagram and see the beautiful photos of Hiroshi Tanahashi as Santa Claus. But Noah gets into it so much more. Jun Akiyama, one of the aces of Noah, was known as, and every year they would do skits or songs. They'd have big shows, and they really get into Christmas. I guess it's nice there because it's all about, like, we're giving back to the fans. We're having a little bit of fun. We're usually a very serious sports-like strong style wrestling promotion, but on Christmas we're gonna get a bunch of, everybody's gonna get Akira Taue dancing. We're gonna get Masawa dressed as a green Santa with Rudolph driving a Corvette, which is what they do, I guess.
Kenta reluctantly being festive.
Yep. Morishima very into singing, doing all the high parts.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are really great. That's one of my favorite Christmas things as well. So,
Marcus, do you have any favorite wrestling Christmas moments?
You know, anytime I think it was, there was a time when Attitude Era, Stone Cold was dressed as Santa. Vince McMahon was in the ring. He didn't know it was Stone Cold. And he, you know, takes off the
I think it was their Christmas in Baghdad show, right? Like,
That's correct.
Yeah,
like,
they're in
they have a bunch of troops and stuff.
So it, like, the sneakiness that Stone Cold Steve Austin would have to pull to import himself into Baghdad secretly to surprise Vince McMahon.
Right.
That is.
Yeah. That's like
high
the
level
story there.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. And then he just, you know, he was having trouble taking the suit off. Like, he wanted to take the suit off before he gave him the stunner. But if you watch this clip, it's so funny. He's like all trapped in his clothes. And he just gives him the stunner and the Santa outfit, then takes it off. But yeah, anytime, like, Stone Cold was a master of disguise. You know, he'd be dressed as ring crew and surprise Vince. So, like, anytime he did that, I loved it. And when he did it as Santa, I was like, this is hilarious. Anytime you see Santa in a WWE ring, it's someone's gonna be revealed as Santa, right? Like, usually It's very rare that it's just like a jobber that just gets his ass kicked. It's usually someone, right?
There's that one, was that 97 when Stone Cold stuns a Santa Claus, and it turned out it was just some guy named Roy. It wasn't anybody. Some guy from Stanford named Roy.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. I thought it was like maybe Brooklyn Brawler, but just Roy. You know, we can honor the great wrestling Santas, from Tajiri Claus to Captain Lou as Santa, Mick Foley, obviously the Blake Thorne, award winner. He's done so many great things. I think back to the Raw, where the show, long story, and he brought this up, was that Alberto Del Rio had hit Santa Claus with his Rolls Royce, which he would use during his entrance. And the whole time Santa was held up in the trainer's room, and Booker T had to give John Cena the speech to sort of like rally him to save Christmas and, give a little magic. And they cut to the trainer's room, and you see a Santa, and he's unconscious, but then the boots start clicking, and Santa defeats Del Rio in a Miracle on 34th Street fight, where I think there's a famous GIF of him opening up a present that's at ringside, and it's a steel chair. That's one of my favorite memories.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
It's rare that a modern WWE would provide a one of my favorite memories, but it does.
It's true. It's true.
It's rare when you do camp well. Very rare.
Yeah. And I think we should make some memories for ourselves. Marcus and the man upstairs, Isaiah, I both got you Christmas gifts.
Oh, that's right.
So Marcus and Isaiah,
I haven't opened it.
You should go get it. Yeah, Isaiah, your Christmas present is in the freezer.
Yep. I'll go get it. Should I go get it for him?
Okay, thanks. And then Darren, you also have a present, and I've teased this for a few weeks now.
It's true, yeah. I just want to let you know I sent you a present as well. Unfortunately, WWE Hall of Famer Donald Trump defunded the Postal Service this year, and your present won't be there until February. But it's a beautiful. It actually is a very thoughtful gift.
Oh my God! Can I open this?
Well, that's so nice. Mine is very bad, but Marcus just opened his present, so let's go to Marcus and his live reaction.
God. This is hilarious.
We got some WWE
they're the cookie sandwiches, Roman Reigns, Macho Man. We got there's two of them.
Isaiah should probably come down to my room and show us his present.
This is awesome. Yeah. This is awesome. So the funny thing is, like, I was waiting you told me, Brett, there's should expect a package on Thursday. And so I was waiting all day, didn't get in bed. And then I went to bed early because I had to get up early today to get tested for COVID. And then, oh my God, look at this. Becky Lynch.
Who do we got? Becky Lynch.
Macho Man and Becky Lynch. We got Roman Reigns. Oh, Roman Reigns on both sides. Both sides of that one.
So they're just wafers and chocolate with like weird green bits of the wrestlers.
Totally.
They're not like the ice cream bars of my youth, which were like one side dipped in chocolate and the other side like illustration of Bret Hart.
No, these are great though. I love these. These are hilarious. Thank you so much for sending this.
Yeah.
This might spoil my dinner a little bit, but I'm gonna have a little bite.
Gotta have a bite. These are good humor bars.
Are we?
I
got mine right here.
Now
this is so good.
Darren's present for weeks now.
Should I tell you
privately?
Should I tell you what I got? Should I just tell you what I got you?
Is it going to be exciting for the show for me to open it in another episode?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
It's mostly just a nice thing. So, we met in 2007, I believe, at a Screaming Female show.
Yeah.
And one of our favorite people from the Screaming Females, that's it. Shout outs to Marissa.
Mhm.
One of our favorite people from Screaming Females, King Mike. Shout outs to King Mike and State Champion Records. He was going through his mom's garage and he came across a bit of wrestling memorabilia that he gave to me. But, you know, I was always more for the other guy. So I sent it to you. It's a framed, signed, little 2x2 inch square piece of the wrestling ring that Shawn Michaels won his first WWE title in.
Wow. See, I remember when they were selling this, because Superstars did air on network television, and they would have like the clips of the ring, and you could tell it was that ring because it would have the WrestleMania logo in it.
Right.
And that is the match that really, I had, dalliances with wrestling, but that was like the Bret Hart Shawn Michaels match was really what made me a true wrestling fan.
And you're a Shawn Michaels.
I was a Shawn Michaels guy. He was a sexy boy.
See, I had no time.
showstopper.
I had no time for the boy toy. I was all about the excellence of execution, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. So when I got that from King Mike, I was like, this is a nice, this is a nice moment in Bret Hart's career. So I'll keep it. But then I said, it's the holidays. I know you're out in Hollywood, and I know you like to play up that you're living this great Hollywood lifestyle, but I know you're really low on Christmas. And it's been tough. So I wanted to send you that as just a memento of our friendship and a memento of our love of professional wrestling and a memento of your favorite wrestler as a kid, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Unfortunately, it's stuck in the mail.
That's so sweet,
I got a
Darren. That's such a thoughtful gift.
I know.
I did get a notification from DHF, so I think something is arriving on Monday. Whether that's your gift or something else, I'm not sure.
Let's see.
Dave in the chat is asking about Santa Claus. Unfortunately, this might need to wait, but Santa Claus was the evil Santa from South Pole.
No, that's not. Now, there's a little bit of wrestling trivia. So Santa Claus was the evil Santa from the South Pole, but was he related to the other Santa's two best little helpers, Santa Butch and Santa Luke, the Bushwhackers, who also played Santa Claus on the 1992 episode of WWF Superstars, and they were billed as also from the South Pole, but they weren't evil. They whacked themselves out there.
I think it's just maybe coincidence. Yeah.
Guys, I have
Isaiah.
Oh, sorry, Brett.
Sorry.
I just have to say I have an 8:00 show I have to do, but I want to thank you guys for having me on your podcast. This was so special to be on the Christmas episode. I loved it. I love both of you guys.
Thank you, Marcus.
Of course, I hope we can do this again sometime soon.
Absolutely. Juggler extraordinaire, comedian extraordinaire, Marcus Monroe. When it's safe to see live shows, you got to see him. You put on an incredible show. I've been honored to share the green room with you many times.
Likewise, man. Yeah, likewise. I hope you guys stay safe, stay well, and keep watching some more wrestling. Still real to me, damn it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marcus.
Hell yeah.
Take care, guys. Have a good night. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too.
Isaiah, I don't know if you got the present. It's the same thing I got Marcus. Two wrestling ice cream bars. But I also threw in Jimmy Fallon, Ben and Jerry's for him too. So thank you for the great work.
Well, now I have my present. So I got you something very thoughtful. Even though you don't have
I told you I got you the worst possible Christmas gift.
Yeah, but you were like kidding though.
I don't know.
Oh no. Does it have a swastika on it? Is it from the Harris Brothers?
It's not from the Harris Brothers. I'm just gonna for the listening audience, if you hear dead air, it's dramatic.
We're doing a little open here. I'm gonna open it up. It's got a couple little spots in here. Let me get this open. And okay, we've got oh, I don't like it. Wait a second. All right, looks like it's a it's you can see here it's a pair of wrestling trunks, and if we just turn it to the back, worn and signed by Leaping Lanny Poffo, the genius. Wow, should I give him a sniff? I'm gonna give him a smell.
Give him a smell, yeah.
It doesn't smell. It smells clean in the way like a high school gym smells clean.
I mean, he's notably the cleanest wrestler. I don't know what you were expecting to smell, but I will note the indentation from his gigantic penis.
Oh, there is a penis indentation. That's true.
This has been stretched by the great Lanny Poffo's penis.
Thanks.
Which we've heard from eyewitness accounts that he's packing it.
I thought.
So yeah,
I
got you the worst present ever. Lanny Poffo's.
I thought it was gonna be Nikki Bella's Divas Cup. Diva Cup. Something.
Does she
that
sell
would be
those?
worse. No, I just thought you had a hookup or something.
No,
Well, Brett, thank you. I'll
All
treasure
due
these.
respect to Nikki Bella. Yeah. So this should be hung up in your room. If you need a framer, I can hook you up with somebody in Jersey City or something. But yeah, you're holding Lanny Poffo's underwear.
That's right. Yep,
genius.
playfully holding.
Honestly,
Well,
you could probably pinpoint which match. This could have been the match that's one of your favorite matches where he wrestled Hulk Hogan on Thanksgiving night.
Could have been. He was wearing the blue trunks that night. So that's an incredible gift. Well, we're putting that right in the Wrestling Club Hall of Fame. Boy.
Yeah. And this is one for the books.
This is it. We did it.
We had so much to talk about. We didn't even get to a ton. I fucked up the Mick Foley.
Well, we'll fix that in post.
We'll fix that in post. But
right.
yeah, this is.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
it is December. Jersey,
our home
so
is
you probably
our
have
home is falling apart. Our home is falling apart. The man upstairs has to go downstairs now, I guess. I guess we can leave it there, right?
Yeah, Darren, will you open up your bed for the man upstairs, Isaiah, to sleep tonight? It would be the Christmassy thing to do.
Well, I don't celebrate, much like Iron Sheik. That's
Fair
actually one of my favorite. It's one of my. That's a Christmas thing I love. I love when a heel says, "I don't celebrate." MJF did it. I watched a video with Paul Orndorff, or actually it's Bobby Heenan, and they were like, "What's Paul Orndorff doing for Christmas?" He's like, "He doesn't celebrate." Great wrestling Christmas. Well, Brett, thank you for the gift.
This show has given me the opportunity to have 4 beers in 1 hour.
Brett's drunk. Brett's been drinking.
Hell yeah.
I'm not drunk, but that's okay. Maybe next year. I got to thank everybody for sticking with us.
I was going to drink whiskey. Marcus was like, "Oh, I'll do some weed." You were talking about eating mushrooms, and now it's just me, the idiot, here with 4 Sapporo's.
Yeah, I didn't do any drugs for this show. I'm drug free tonight. Looks like CM Punk. But
hell yeah, straight out.
I tell you, we've got a whole, we've been doing this show now for, for what's this, our 12th episode to the 12 episodes of Wrestling Club coming up on Christmas. Not so bad. Got to thank everybody who's joined the Wrestling Club this year to hang out with us. We really appreciate it. You can always follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Club WFMU or on Twitter at Wrestling_Club_. We're going to be back. We're not going to.
Rob Pastani thought it was maybe WCW Greed on DVD. I will say, though, I did try to send this as well. It was a COVID face mask that said TNA Victory Road 06 on it.
I tried to find. I tried to find you the Shawn Michaels like sunglasses and gloves set, so you could like have your little Shawn Michaels plaque and then put your Heartbreak Kid accessories on, but they don't exist. I have a pair of Heartbreak Kid sunglasses, but I promised my girlfriend she could wear them, so you don't get them this year. I'm sorry.
Respect. Happy holidays, Aaron. If you're watching.
Yeah, happy holidays to Aaron, one of our Irish brethren.
25%. Yeah.
That's right. And yeah, this year it's been great. We're going to be back. We're going to be off next week, as far as I know. Although maybe we'll do a stream or something around Christmas just to hang out, something that's a little more informal. But we'll be back in 2 weeks, which I think will be our 2020 year in review show. As the critic would say, it stinks. But
yeah, it was a bad year.
We'll dig into that in 2 weeks. So yeah, for Brett, for the man upstairs, for Marcus, for Matt, I'm Darren. This is WFMU Wrestling Club. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever you celebrate. Be well, be safe, be healthy. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you.